Hello and welcome to another video. This is 10 things you need to know before you play Destiny 2 on PC. I know the game's been out for a while, almost a month and a half now, but this is just for the players who are new to the series and are coming in first time on PC. At number 10, subclasses. Now this is really basic if you have played Destiny before, but I'm adding this in here because there are most likely going to be new players who are coming in fresh to the PC platform. In the game, there are 3 classes: Warlock, Titan, and Hunter. Each of those classes have 3 subclasses, and those 3 subclasses are tied to different elements. Those elements are Arc, Solar, and Void. For the Warlock, we have the Voidwalker, the Stormcaller, and the new subclass, Dawnblade. For the Titan, we have the Striker, the Sunbreaker, and the new subclass, Sentinel. And for the Hunter, we have the Gunslinger, the Night Stalker, and the new subclass, Arcstrider. Each one of these subclasses have their own supers, and they all look awesome in their own right. Me personally, I prefer the Arcstrider because you're just a badass with an electric staff running around mowing down enemies. Number 9 are tokens. It's a new mechanic that they've added in Destiny 2, and these tokens can be earned for most of the vendors in the game. You earn tokens by doing activities like public events and strikes, also the Crucible. But these tokens are unique to each and individual vendors. So if you do the Crucible, you only get tokens for the Crucible, which can be redeemed by Lord Shaxx, who is the representative of the Crucible. Or if you do quests or like milestones for Ikora Rey, you will only get tokens that only she can redeem. However, there are factions in Destiny 2. There are 3 to be exact: New Monarchy, Future War Cult, and Dead Orbit. For these factions, you will get tokens regardless of what activity you do, but you won't get as many as you do for the other vendors. Once you've redeemed these tokens, you will be awarded special gear from these certain faction representatives and vendors in the tower. This will also help you boost your light level or power level right up to 265. Number 8 are milestones. Milestones come every week into your directory, and they correspond to each of the vendors in the tower. So you complete these milestones and you get powerful gear. And this will always match up and will always be slightly higher than the current gear you have equipped, so they're always beneficial to you. And at number 7, high level gear. You might want to hold off on claiming the powerful gear from the milestones until you reach about level 265. This is because you probably won't find higher level gear above 265 in normal gameplay like public events or normal activities that you do. The powerful gear that you claim from these milestones will always scale up to your level or higher, so you're always gaining levels from powerful gear. This also applies to exotic pieces, so exotic guns or armor. But those are really rare, so your best bet is powerful gear. So this is a guaranteed drop every week. So until you get to the level 265, I would recommend holding off on powerful gear as much as you can for the week. Probably the day before reset is the best time to claim these powerful gear. Even if you've done the activities, until you claim it, it won't affect the power level of the gear. Number 6 is weapon and armor mods. This is a new feature they've added in Destiny 2. These mods basically add perks to your guns or armor, and there are legendary ones that give you +5 of your power level. So essentially, you can go from the max power level 300 to 305. So power level 305 is the absolute maximum you can get in this game for now, until Bungie adds the extra power levels for the next expansion. So if you have legendary armor mods and legendary weapon mods on all your weapons and armor, then you will be level 305. But you can only get these armor mods from Banshee, the gunsmith at the tower. This also applies to the legendary mods as well. But to get these mods from Banshee, you have to either trade in your weapon parts or armor parts for the rewards after you level up his reputation. Once you reach power level 280, you can trade in your rare mods for legendary mods. Number 5 is public events. So this one is a bit of a grind. This is basically what you use to quickly power yourself up to the light level 265. When I was playing Destiny 2 on PS4, this is the main method I used to get to 265, and then from there went ahead and done the powerful gear stuff. So essentially you have to grind out public events and go to each one as they come along in the map in any planet. It's better with a fire team because you can use something called a fire team medallion. This essentially boosts your chance and your fire team's chance of getting more rewards and higher level rewards. This also can be stacked twice, so another member of your fire team can also equip one and it will also affect you, so it will be double stacked. Essentially all your fire team members can put one and everyone will have a double stack, which will further increase your chances of getting higher level loot, exotics and legendaries. It's better to do heroic public events because doing these events will also give you higher loot, so it's essentially stacks upon stacks of higher loot chances. Number 4 is PC optimization. The game's going to support an uncapped frame rate at 4K resolution. So if you have a beastie gaming rig, Destiny 2 is going to be ready for it. The game also supports SLI and HDR for the truly dedicated PC players out there. The uncapped frame rate means that you can possibly run this game at 144 frames a second at 4K. Bungie's really pulling out all the stops here, and I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. Number 3 is the PC port's versatility on various hardware. From what I know, the engine that Bungie made for Destiny 2 is compatible with a lot of hardware on PC. This means weaker systems can run the game at least 1080p. I was able to run the beta at 4K at 30 frames a second with a GTX 970 on high settings. That further proves the point that the PC version is well optimized for the PC platform. I know, this point kind of continues from the previous point, but this is for the players who have lower end gaming rigs. Number 2 is the PC launch calendar. So the PC launch won't have all the content the console players have straight away. On the day of release, players will be able to play the Nightfall on normal and Prestige mode, and will have access to the Nightfall guided games mode for players in a clan who want to help out other solo players. The week after, on the 1st of November, the normal raid will be released on PC, and on the 3rd of November, the PvP event Trials of the Nine will start, and this event will come back every week on Friday and will always end on the Tuesday reset day. And finally on the 7th we'll get the Prestige mode raid and the guided games raid. These are more endgame activities anyway. You'll most likely not be at the right light level to take part in these activities. This is to give players a bit more time to get up to the light level required to do these endgame activities. There will also be Iron Banner and any other content that the console players have. On the same week, PC players will be able to also take part in these events. And finally, this is just a bit of housekeeping. These are the PC specs for the game. So you might need to clear up some hard drive space because this game is going to be almost 70 gig. The minimum requirements for Intel is a Core i3 3250 at 3.5 GHz or an Intel Pentium G4 560 at 3.5 GHz. On the AMD side for the minimum requirements is an FX 4350 at 4.2 GHz. GPU for Nvidia is a GeForce GTX 660 2GB or a GTX 1050 at 2GB. The AMD side is a Radeon HD 7850 at 2GB. And for the RAM, minimum requirements is 6GB. Now for the recommended side on Intel is an i5 2400 at 3.4 GHz or an i5 7400 at 3.5 GHz. On the AMD side for a recommended is a Ryzen R5 1600X at 3.6 GHz. The recommended GPU on Nvidia's side is a GeForce GTX 970 4GB or a GTX 1060 at 6GB. On the AMD side for the recommended GPU is an R9 390 8GB, and for the RAM they recommend 8GB. It supports Windows 7 64-bit, Windows 8.1 64-bit, Windows 10 64-bit, and that's what they recommend. The exact hard drive space is 68GB. The game will launch on the PC on the 24th of November exclusively on Battle.net. The times of release in each region are as follows. In Los Angeles, it's 10 AM, New York, 1 PM, Sao Paulo, 3 PM, London, 6 PM, Berlin, 7 PM, Moscow, 8 PM, and then the next countries are for the 25th of October. Singapore, that's 1 AM, Taipei is 1 AM, Tokyo is 2 AM, and Sydney is 4 AM. And that is it for the video, guys. This is for the new players who haven't played Destiny before, who are jumping right into the PC version. I thought this would be a nice video to introduce them to the mechanics and tell them a bit more about the game on PC. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, please leave a like, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you didn't like the video, feel free to dislike it. And subscribe if you want to see any more content like this. Thanks guys. Bye.